Did something happen to my child by that time? And if so, what happened?
This is an incredibly distressing investigation, and the information we are going to provide today is particularly confronting.
This man has been accused of abusing several children at a childcare centre in Melbourne. Joshua Brown has been charged with more than 70 alleged offences relating to the abuse of 8 children. Police say the alleged victims were between 5 months and 2 years old.
What police are saying, they discovered child abuse material. We don't know yet how or why, and police have been really reluctant to release that information because the investigation is ongoing. But he also worked at 20 childcare centres from January 2017, so it is a major investigation at the moment.
As part of the investigation, authorities have recommended 1,200 children be screened for sexually transmitted infections. The parents of those children are terrified.
I feel sick, I really do, and I just need some sort of level of certainty to know that my son wasn't in the room, that he was.
Did something happen to my child? That question will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Parents are rightfully pretty angry. The Premier probably said it best when she said it was every parent's worst nightmare.
My heart just breaks for the families who are living every parent's worst nightmare.
They're frightened, their imaginations are going a little bit wild because their children are so young and they're so vulnerable, and they were put in a place where they were supposed to be safe. People were trying to work out what was going on, trying to get through to the hotline, get through to the childcare centres, and a lot of people actually found out about what had happened through the media. So I think it was quite a frightening time for parents, as you can imagine.
This was an unusual case in that Brown's identity is no longer a secret.
In this scenario, the police were actually the ones that applied for the suppression order and then applied for it to be lifted. Joshua Brown did not apply to suppress his own identity, but it's been lifted, and not only lifted, police have released the name and a lot of information about him, which is really, really unusual in this case, but it is because of this public health response and because of how many children potentially have been exposed to this man.
This is unique. It's very important to ensure that every parent out there that has a child in childcare knows who he is and where he worked. This may be families who had a child at the centre where he worked, or even staff that worked alongside the person.
Politically, we can probably anticipate a few changes. Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen said they've undertaken a rapid review to improve regulation in the sector, and the Federal Education Minister, Jason Clare, said they were working to bring in legislation in Parliament in the next few months to cut off funding from any of the childcare centres that didn't reach required standards.
There is national reform work underway, but as the Premier said, it is frustratingly slow, and this is something we have expressed over the past months and weeks, and certainly something that I expressed last Friday. We need to see tangible outcomes sooner.
But also lawyers have come out and said that this just highlights a very clear need for change.
Clearly, this should never have been allowed to happen. So we're really interested in understanding how this person had the opportunity to offend as has been alleged.